Hello everyone, how are we all doing? Today I'm going to be going over my top 5 VST purchases. So let's get straight into it. Now the first thing that I really wanted to go over was Ozone 11. And the reason why I think Ozone 11 is such a great thing to buy is because it's not just one plugin, it's not just one VST, it's a bundle of different VSTs, and it's specifically for mastering. So once you buy this, you'll have every mastering plugin that you need. You only have to use that. You don't have to worry about buying anymore. That's why I think it's so useful, and plus all of the plugins are like top notch. They all sound really good, and you can just like learn a lot of different things about them, especially if you're a beginner too. You can just like learn how to use the different types of plugins that they have in there. It's just a really nice bundle to buy. Now I think it is pretty pricey if you were to just go in and buy it for like straight cash, but they also have an option for you to just buy a subscription and pay like 20 bucks a month. If that's something that sounds interesting to you, I definitely suggest you try that out. The first VST, but not actually VST, I think you should buy is Ozone 11. And if you don't know what Ozone 11 is, it's a mastering tool that pretty much helps you throughout the whole entire mastering session. It will be the only thing you need to master. It comes with a bundle of different plugins. You'll have a compressor, you'll have dynamic EQ, regular EQ, you'll have an exciter, maximizer, limiter, you'll have sculptor. You have so many different options. I can actually pull it out and show it to you right now. So yeah, this is Ozone 11. Well, I haven't updated my mind yet, but this is Ozone 11 right here. As you can see, these are all the different types of plugins that Ozone 11 comes with. It's so freaking cool. Vintage tape, vintage limiter, EQ, comp, stabilizer, spectral shaper, maximizer, match EQ, master relevance, low end, all these different things. It's literally insane the amount of plugins that they have. And there's so many different things that you can do with these plugins as well, which is so cool. Next plugin I wanted to talk about was Soothe 2. It's a very cool plugin. It is kind of pricey, will run you around 200 bucks, but it will be very worth it. If you don't know what Soothe 2 is, it's a dynamic resonance suppressor, pretty much meaning so it'll pretty much detect each individual audio wave from your audio signal in your song or your vocal recording, and it'll find distortion within that audio signal within each sound wave, and it'll like suppress that distortion down with Soothe 2 depending on where your adjustments are for all of these little knobs right here. It's a pretty freaking cool plugin, and the end result will make your audio signal just sound a lot smoother, a lot more clear, and just like a lot more balanced. That's why I really like to use this, really just for cleaning up your audio signal. It can really clean up muddy or muffly recordings. I highly suggest you buy this one. It saved me in so many different situations where I thought all hope was lost. So really cool plugin. The next plugin I wanted to go over with you all is the de-esser. So if you don't know what a de-esser is, it finds sibilance in your audio signal and it'll literally suppress that sibilance down. If you don't know what sibilance is, it's just like all those S noises you'll hear in your audio signal. Those S sounds just tend to stand out more than any other frequencies in your audio signal, which is very unfortunate, and that's why they created a de-esser. So it's literally just suppressing those high-pitched frequencies down to make your audio signal sound a lot more balanced. There is definitely ways that you can use de-essers with multi-band compressors, but as far as like what it's doing to your CPU and like the extra time it takes, I personally think using a de-esser is a lot easier than just doing that. Honestly, I feel like using a de-esser inside of a multi-band compressor to just save money is a lot easier to do once you actually know how a de-esser works and you know how to use a multi-band compressor. And the issue is most beginners don't know what any of this is, and they kind of just want to figure out like the cheapest means to like get these things done. And I tried to do the same thing, and before I actually like knew what a de-esser was, I tried to use a multi-band compressor, and I also didn't know what a multi-band compressor was, and I just went on YouTube and looked up a bunch of different videos, and I thought I was doing de-essing when my de-essing just sounded bad, and I went ahead and bought a de-esser, and it just sounded 10 times better. And then I actually started to understand how the de-esser works, so I suggest you just go ahead and buy a de-esser. So the next thing I wanted to go over with you all is the doubler, Waves doubler. If you don't know what this is, it creates a vocal double of your voice on all sides of the stereo image and allows you to manipulate those doubles however you like in order to thicken up your mix and give it a lot more depth. is really nice to use. A lot of people use it for a bunch of different things, as well as myself. I use it on the lead vocal bus. I use it on my background vocals. You can do it for so many different things. It is so freaking nice. I highly suggest you get it. It's about 30 bucks off of Waves, 30 to 40 bucks on Waves. The price may have went up in like the past 2 years since I bought it, but I still think it's a very useful plugin. And yes, if you're thinking about like free ways to use a doubler, there's definitely free ways you can use a doubler, but just like how I said earlier, it takes a little bit more time and effort to use those different methods versus just go ahead and buying it. Like, you'll probably save yourself like an extra 10 or like 8 minutes just going ahead and using the doubler. So in my personal opinion, I think that just saves a lot of time, and it's just simple too. You have the whole layout right here. It's super simple. You also have a bunch of different presets up here you can go through. You can use a doubler with 4 voices. You can use a bunch of different things that you have down here that sound really great. And on top of that, with this whole doubler thing, if you were to buy one, you get the option to have the doubler 2 stereo, or you can have the doubler 4 stereo, which would be 4 voices, and this is just pretty much 2 voices. So on the doubler stereo you have 4 voices, and you'll be able to still choose these same presets. So on the doubler 4, you can come over here to this doubler 4 voices. In the doubler 4 stereo, you'd have 4 voices to manipulate from right here, which would be absolutely freaking insane. It'll really thicken up those tinny vocals if that's what you're experiencing. So useful for so many different things. I highly suggest you guys go try it. Now the last plugin I wanted to go over with you all is Auto Tune, just because it's like the most simplistic pitch correction VST out there. It's so simple. There's 2 things you can buy. You can either buy this one, Auto Tune Pro, and Auto Tune has a few different variations of this Auto Tune as well for cheaper. This is like the most expensive version for like 300 bucks, which you absolutely do not need to do. If you're interested, Waves also has an Auto Tune plugin. It's called Waves Tune. I should have it somewhere down here. Waves Tune, and this one costs about 80 bucks on Waves. Very useful. I say just go ahead and buy one of these, because in a lot of situations you won't feel like using pitch correction. You definitely can go buy some pitch correction plugins out there, and it will cost probably a little bit more money than this, but pitch correction just sounds a lot more natural, and Auto Tune sounds a little bit more robotic. But I honestly think Auto Tune gets a lot of bad rep. If you know how to do the adjustments right in your Auto Tune, it won't sound robotic at all. You just have to know how to use it, how to adjust it. And honestly, some people like the robotic sound, but if you don't like the robotic sound, don't think that your vocals are just going to sound robotic, because that's absolutely not true. There's so many different ways to set up the adjustments. It just depends on the user. But all right, everyone, those are my top 5 plugins I think beginners should look into buying when thinking about mixing and mastering your songs. Now, if you're a beginner wondering how to mix your vocals with stock VST plugins inside FL Studio, hit the link in my description and I'll give you a detailed step-by-step guide on how to do just that, which I can guarantee will 5 times the speed in which you progress. But all right, everyone, I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. If you did, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. I'll catch you all on the flip side.